You're listening to the Fast F1 podcast. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Fast F1 podcast with me, Danny Kane.
And I'm Eddie Medeo Kane.
And today we are reviewing the Miami Grand Prix of 2025. What did you think of the race?
At the first half was decent, but the second half I feel like it fell away.
Yeah, it was. The first bit of the race was pretty exciting, but yeah, it definitely fizzled out as it kind of went on. But yeah, the first half of the race for sure, first three quarters of the race even, had a lot of action to them, had a lot of drama with Lando going off, and then the battle between Piastri and Verstappen, and then the battle between Norris and Verstappen. It was a good race.
Yeah, It was a good weekend all around. I feel like what would have made the race better, and I feel like almost 100% of people would agree with me on this, is we should have gotten what we wanted, which was the rain that was scheduled.
Yeah, well, it wasn't scheduled. Nobody schedules the rain.
But it was on the weather radar,
It was forecast, yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of rain in the forecast and never came to be. A couple of drops on one of the corners, like one lap was all that they saw. So, yeah, not much happened that way. So, in between races, though, we had a number of developments. So fill us in on the news up to this point.
On the news up to this point, it was basically like right when we got into the Miami Grand Prix, we found out that the Miami Grand Prix itself has an extension for the contract for the race. Now, I hear that you're not too thrilled about this.
Well, I mean, if Miami puts up races like this one, I'd be okay with it. But the certainly the first Miami race was quite a stinker, and I haven't been a fan of this track up until this point.
Okay, I could disagree with you on that, but I'm not going to even try. It's going to be extended for a long time, though. We're not even into the 2030s yet, and it's extended until 2041.
Yeah, that seems like an unusually long contract, but I suppose that's, 16 years?
16 years.
So, I don't know if that's unheard of, but it does seem an awful long time.
Oh, yeah. Elsewhere, we see a lot of brand new liveries, which we did discuss in the last episode. So we've already talked about that point.
Yes, but they were a few special Miami liveries.
I'm still mad about that Ferrari one. I just am.
Yeah, it looked gross.
It really did. They need to stop doing that.
What else?
We've got two big articles on Alpine. So the first of which was Ollie Oaks has left Alpine. I can't remember. Was he fired or?
Well, I think officially he's resigned, but he was probably asked to resign.
Which means 17 years after his first official banning after the controversy of Crashgate, Flavio Briatore has returned.
Yeah, he's been in an advisor role at the team for a while now, but now he's assuming the responsibilities of the team principal. I don't think that he will actually become the team principal long term. I think he's actually just there filling in until they have somebody to take Oliver Oaks' place. But yeah, after a day or so after the race, it was announced that he had left the team. The other part of that was to do with one of the drivers.
And obviously, at the beginning of the season, a lot of people were like, is he even going to get to race in the first race? I mean, Colapinto's looking like he's poking his head out. He's like...
Yeah, you're talking about Doohan.
I am talking about Jack Doohan. Doohan is out, but only for the next 5 races.
Well...
And that's a little interesting.
Doohan is out. Colapinto is in for 5 races, but they haven't said for sure that if Colapinto doesn't make it past those 5 races, does that mean that Doohan would return? Yeah, we'd have to see what happens with that. I think that Colapinto is their guy for the rest of the season, though, either way.
Yeah, because it makes me think that this decision was probably made after Oaks left, because Briatore is not the biggest fan of Jack Doohan, now is he?
No, but I think it's probably more to do that they gave Doohan a chance Dewan's out, and because Dewan is out, Oliver Oaks is also out. If Dewan had performed well and they decided to keep him in the team, I think that would have spared Oliver Oaks his job because he was the guy that wanted him there to begin with. But because Dewan didn't perform, they got rid of Dewan, and then because of that, they had no reason to keep Oliver Oaks around either. It was kind of like the team was saying to Oaks, okay, you wanted this guy, but if he doesn't do the job, then you're out too.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they're both out.
He's not entirely out of motorsport, though. He does still run a decently successful Formula 2 team. I'm pretty sure he still runs it, right?
Which one is that?
High Tech GP. I think a year or two ago, they actually tried to propose an F1 team. Was not successful. But they've had quite decent cars in the past. This year they've got two of my favorite F2 drivers. Not my favorite, but some of them. Dino Bogdanovich and Luke Browning, both of which have actually been in FP1 this year for F1.
Yeah, so that was big news, though, that Oaks was out, if for no other reason because Alpine has gone through now 7 team principals in 5 years.
17.
Not
What?
17. 7 team principals.
I was gonna be like,
in 5
that's not
years.
right.
No, not 17.
But 7?
Yeah.
That is insane, guys.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a revolving door of team principals at
And it's not even
Alpine.
been just like that. It's been like, I don't remember his name. It was like right before Oaks. Or not right before Oaks, but 2 principals right before Oaks. He had stayed there for like 2 of those 5 years. So
Yeah.
like they've come and gone.
I think you're talking about Otmar Snapsar.
Otmar
or-
Schnauzar.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his
I don't know
last
how
name.
to.
But yeah, he was there for a little while. He kind of oversaw the exit of Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri. But
Yeah.
from things that he said in various interviews, he didn't really have much power there. He was the team principal, but he was also made a scapegoat for some of their problems. And so, kind of wonder if that's really what's happening behind the scenes, is that the team principal is rolled out there as a person to blame when things don't go well, and things aren't going well for several years now.
No, it just doesn't make sense for the first part of it because like the first of those team principals, they left, but that was obviously because of like probably funding issues and as you said, like how much control you have. Even though the team was doing quite decent at the time, but the past 2 years, nearly the past 3 years, the team has fallen rapidly.
Yeah, they're
it is-
struggling big time.
So it is completely understandable for one to leave, but for one to leave like Ollie Oaks,
Mm-hmm.
for where he, in this case, he was resigned, it's kind of interesting. I mean, it could also be a lucky escape from him.
Perhaps. I mean, either way, it doesn't bode well for Alpine in 2026 if they're having these problems in 2025 to where they're again replacing a team principal. How much resources and what do they have a clear direction for their development for 2026? I would say probably not.
And they also just probably booted out the money to let Colapinto race, so...
Yeah, and they've dropped their own engine program in favor of Mercedes engine program. Maybe that'll be a saving grace for them, is that they'll have an engine that's better. But yeah, I mean,
And then
who knows?
they've also just signed a ton of reserve drivers. Aaron, and they signed Hirakawa at one point. They've already lost
It's
him.
true they have other drivers in the stable, but
They've already lost Hirakawa.
we'll see what happens as they go forward.
Yeah.
So, focusing on the Miami Grand Prix weekend, then we had a sprint race, which meant we had a sprint qualifying, and
Oh yeah, we did.
sprint qualifying was not without its ups and downs. What happened in sprint qualifying?
I'm just gonna get it straight to the point. Give me a pole!
Yeah, so your guy Kimi Antonelli, pole position for the sprint race.
By over 2 years, he is the youngest pole sitter in any format of motorsport in F1 or motorsport. in F1,
Yeah, any
Formula
form
1.
of race for
Yeah.
F1. Yeah, so the sprint race kind of throws those stats in a bit of a blender. But yeah, Kimi Antonelli, pole position for the sprint race, but unfortunately couldn't keep it during the race.
No. And I understand his radio with the fact that he would be upset, which is why he said what he said in the first turn. He pushed me off. I can understand that much hype to the lowest of lows. I can imagine why he would say that. I bet he already knew that he didn't push him off. He was just that mad. But what he said after that is kind of like foreshadowing, hopefully, when he said, what did he say? I just had it. Good to know. For if it was investigated, like, I hope that's like a foreshadow of.
Yeah, that he's gonna take advantage of the rules later on.
Yeah,
Could be.
I hope.
In the end, the winner for the sprint race was Norris, mostly due to some
same thing last year.
yeah, so to some fortune with regards to the safety car. So he was definitely behind Piastri.
And I jinxed this mid-sprint. I was like,
Was he behind Piastri?
he was behind Piastri, and he made his pit stop under the safety car, and he came out into the lead. Exactly what
Right,
happened
that's right.
last year. And like with, I don't know, I think it was like lap 10 or 11, while we were watching that, I actually jinxed it.
Yeah, because Piastri pit first,
Yeah.
and then while he was on his out lap, the safety car came out, and Norris was able to get a cheap pit stop and came out ahead of Piastri.
It was Fernando Alonso, who has retired for the 3rd time this season.
Yeah, that one was hardly Fernando Alonso's fault there. Liam Lawson decided he forgot that you can't squeeze two cars at the apex and decided to just drive through Alonso.
Yeah.
Liam Lawson
Yeah,
is
he's
not doing well, but
no.
you know,
I'm a little surprised by this because the past 2 years he's been like absolutely
Yeah.
on it.
and Fernando Alonso still without points. He would not have scored points in that sprint anyway. I mean, even if Lawson had gotten past him cleanly, Fernando was still going to drop down the order. There was a whole line of cars behind Lawson that were waiting to pass Alonso as well.
I just love like ever since because we noticed this ever since the USA GP last year in Coda.
Mm-hmm.
Alonso and Lawson are almost always by each other causing mayhem.
Yep.
It is so cool to see that.
Yeah, the other part of the sprint then was, and it had to do with Antonelli again, was Verstappen's pit crew releasing him into the side of Antonelli. So Verstappen picked up wing damage and a 10-second penalty, I believe it was.
10-second time penalty, and because of the safety car.
Yeah.
And my dad didn't.
Because they finished under a different safety car.
Yeah, but my dad didn't actually know this until I was explaining how I knew it. So at the time it was a week before. It's now 2 weeks ago. I realized I had never watched the 2023 F3 Championship. So I rewatched it, and the first round in Bahrain, there was a safety car right at the end of the race, and Gabriele Mini, who is one of my favorite F2 drivers this season, had a 5-second time penalty. He was in the lead of the race, and by the time he crossed the line on the last lap under the safety car, he dropped to like 12th or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I knew what was going to happen. You weren't sure at the time.
Well, I didn't know how tightly packed they were going to end up being crossing the line if Verstappen would end up dropping all the way back to last. I knew he would drop out of the points.
Oh, yeah.
And he did, obviously, because he did drop all the way to
He
last.
Doohan almost had him for. We thought like Doohan was the only guy who didn't get Verstappen for a moment there. That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And then sprint qualifying, Hamilton, 12th. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Ferrari needs to, and I'm a massive Ferrari fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like right as much as Kimi Antonelli. The thing is, Ferrari are still fourth.
Yeah. And they're not looking very good.
No.
If anything, they're getting slower, it seems.
Yes. Save for 2026. Just stop. I don't care if they win anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care if they even get a podium at this rate. Just save for 2026.
The thing is, I think Mercedes is probably already pretty well dedicated for 2026.
Which is crazy.
And
'cause
Red Bull
they're all the way
probably
up
is
there.
as well. And
Oh, yeah.
McLaren probably is as well. McLaren might be spending a little bit of time just kind of making sure that they secure the drivers and constructors championship this year, but
I can
pretty clear they're
imagine-
going to get the constructors championship. Maybe not the drivers championship if
No,
if
Russell
Red Bull- if-
or Verstappen catch up. It's crazy how Russell is still in this battle.
yeah, Russell's been really good this
He's
year.
been really good.
Yeah.
He was not good in Miami.
Well, I don't know about that. So
Well, he was
well,
beaten by his teammate in almost every session.
almost every session.
Almost.
Okay, not in the main race.
Not in the main race.
So
Annoyingly.
qualifying for the main race, Lando Norris started on pole. Lando Norris started on pole? I thought Verstappen did.
Verstappen started on pole.
Oh, we've got it in this thing wrong. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Never mind.
Redo.
So, for the main race, qualifying, Verstappen started on pole, Norris in second, and we had another instance of Norris dropping back at the start of the race.
Wait, we're not going to say who's in third?
Who was in third?
Kimmy!
Kimi Antonelli was starting in third. And, so Norris dropped down the order. There's a lot of debate about was it a penalty or was it not a penalty. I understand the reasons for it to not be a penalty. I don't
do
like
too.
the reasons for it to not be a penalty.
I don't
like
either.
I don't like the way that the sporting code is written for that. But even all that being the case, Norris had no choice but to try to go for the move that he did.
And it's a good thing it wasn't a safety car because Norris would have. Actually, no, it was a safety car because of the moment with Doohan. It was a virtual, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, either way, Norris dropped down to sixth, but he would make a fight back to finish in second behind Piastri.
Yep.
And he showed all race long that he was the fastest car. He closed down Piastri over the course of the race from 10 seconds down to about 3 at the end.
Very slowly.
Very slowly. And I'm guessing that Piastri was probably saving a bit. So maybe they were about even on pace, but Norris, if he can sort out his qualifying and his starts,
Oh, yeah.
he'd be I do think he would be the dominant car.
Man,
but
his starts. How many times these past 2 years? We got to count this. We got to count how many times he's had a bad start. This is insane. Literally,
the funny thing is he actually had a good start in Miami, but he,
but then he
second or third corner, whatever it was, he had Verstappen as well.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, I would this is a little exaggerated, but I would just quit all your training for one race and just focus on your starts.
I'm sure he's spending a lot of time working out his starts.
He should be, because these are insane. Because I can picture him like having so many more times. Like Netherlands last year was ridiculous. He lost it right away. Saudi Arabia, he wasn't even on the grid right. Like these things need to be made. He needs to make sure that these are all working.
Yeah,
because they can cost him the whole race. Turn one.
They can cost him a championship.
They can cost him the championship, and at the moment it is, because Piastri won a third consecutive race, the first driver from Australia to do so since his manager Mark Webber.
Yeah, and he's the first McLaren driver to do that since Kimi
Räikkönen.
Not Kimi Räikkönen. Mika Häkkinen in 1997/1998.
Yeah. And, Piastri's won 4 races this season. 4 of the 6.
Yeah. 4 of the 6?
Who would have actually expected this, first of all? Because anybody who actually called Piastri to beat Norris first, kudos to them. But at the same time, Norris is so desperate for this championship,
Mm-hmm.
And if he loses it to his teammate who has been around for such a shorter time than him, he's going to be crushed.
I guess. I mean, he's going to be crushed either way. Even if it was, last year with Verstappen, it's still something he's been trying to accomplish, his own entire life. So.
And it'll be pretty disappointing for him to not win a championship because he's been quite on fire recently.
The frustrating thing for either of those two drivers is knowing that next year is such a question mark. They've got a good car this year, but with the regulation change next year, McLaren could be nowhere again.
I bet Ferrari are saving almost everything. Same with Red Bull. I can imagine Mercedes are saving half their resources. I know you say McLaren's probably saving it as well. I think they're spending it all out just because they want to win one more.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, all of the teams, no matter what, have a significant focus on 2026 already.
Well, yes,
they know where they are for this year, and they know that there's more to gain by focusing on next year. Because if you start ahead next year, you're starting off on the right foot for the next several years worth of development. So
I just feel like there's only 2 teams that are really not focusing on 2026 as much, which would be obviously McLaren and Williams.
McLaren and well, I wouldn't say Williams. I imagine they're still focused on 26 quite a bit as well. They have a decent package this year, but I doubt they're developing it much.
Williams and what then?
No, I'd say McLaren and maybe Mercedes.
Or McLaren
and maybe Red Bull is putting a little bit of time into this year yet. But again, the vast majority of their focus is on all the teams at this point is going to be on 2026.
Oh, yeah.
As far as the development.
I can't wait for that because Cadillac's in, Audi's in, two massive teams in other motorsport.
Yeah. So for the main race then, let's review the results of our predictions here. Because I want to point out just how well I did.
No. Listen, I understand Lawson just got bumped with Doohan in the first corner, and both of them have had a bad season, but I would imagine that I'm having a worse season with the points that I've gained. I've gained so few in these past 8 races, if you include the sprints. I'm so furious.
Well, let's see how we did at Miami then. So for sprint race pole, you said Oscar Piastri.
I'm so mad at myself.
And I said Lando Norris, and in actuality, we were both wrong because it was Antonelli. So no points for either of us.
Yeah.
For the winner of the sprint race, you said
Lando
Norris, and
somehow,
Lando Norris won, so you got a point. So you're already ahead for this race. But then I also said Lando Norris, so we're tied.
Yeah, I was gonna say no, we're tied.
Yeah,
I'm surprised how close we were to getting that wrong, though.
Yeah,
when you think about it.
I mean, with Piastri. Yeah. So then, pole position for the main race, you said George Russell. It was actually Max Verstappen.
It was, and you got a point.
And
again.
I said Max Verstappen, so a point for me. Second in the main race, fastest lap for the main race.
Fastest lap, yeah. You're really skipping ahead, man.
It was Lando Norris.
It was
You
Lando.
had said George Russell again.
Russell. I thought he was going to get the Grand Slam.
And I said Antonelli, so we were both wrong.
Thank you for saying Antonelli, though. I'm still okay with that.
So third place for the race, you had predicted one of your Ferraris.
I predicted Leclerc, didn't I?
Leclerc, yeah. So it was not Leclerc. It was, in fact, George Russell, so another point for me.
Yep. And he also, Leclerc, for the second time in 3 years, because past years, crashes on the formation lap. We've had Stroll last year, Leclerc and both of which were Leclerc and Stroll on the formation lap of Brazil 2023 and 2024. And now we've had one in the sprint race with Leclerc. Again, Ferrari, get it right, please.
Nice. Yep. So then second place was Lando Norris. You had said that it would be Oscar Piastri. And I said Lando Norris. So that's 4 points for me for this race.
You have 5 before this race.
I had 5 points before this race.
You're
I had
joking.
4 for this race. Yeah. So then first place, of course, what we said was Oscar Piastri. Your prediction was George Russell.
I thought he'd get the Grand Slam.
And he didn't.
No, he didn't.
And I said Max Verstappen, so no points for either of us there.
In fact, George Russell was pretty darn slow in this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in myself.
So,
I really am.
A wild prediction for the race. You said that there'd be 2 red flags total across the 2 races.
I had one. I did have one, and technically that's because
of the rain
formation
start.
lap of the sprint race when Leclerc crashed. We didn't actually know.
If you had said yellow flags, you'd have had it. Full safety cars.
2 yellow flags.
Well, if you had said full safety cars, yeah, I mean,
full safety
would
cars,
have had that
maybe, yeah.
But no, you didn't get that. And I
yeah.
said that Verstappen would leave Miami with the championship lead. And
Not
both McLarens
even
finished
close.
1-2 in the sprint and the main race. So no, he did not do that.
No.
So 4-1 to me.
Are you kidding? And
for
now
the
it's
Miami race.
9-3?
So for the season, it's
Are you
9-3 to me.
kidding me?
I'm just, I know more about the sport than you
You're
do.
just
Clearly,
better.
I'm just, yeah.
You do not.
I'm more awesome than you are.
You know more than the sport than me. We should have a whole podcast episode on how that's not true.
I know what's going on more than you do.
I really don't think you do, actually.
All right, so Imola is next.
Imola is next. This is my least favorite Grand Prix of the calendar. Yours is by far Monaco, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah, which is the one after that. So
It is. I hate Imola. And it makes me very happy to see that Imola is one of the 2 Grand Prix that still needs a contract. I really hope it does not get renewed. As much as it's called the Enzo E. Dino Ferrari track, but it's had such great races in the past, some tragic races as well, sadly. But the layout it has now is just so boring. Like last year, we had none. We didn't even have a yellow flag. Not even a yellow flag.
Yeah.
It was so boring until the end, I guess. But like, I'm just not a fan of the circuit. Unless it's raining and it's not canceled. Hence 2021. But I'm still not a big fan of the circuit. Anyways, for predictions, I would say my pole position, because it's not a sprint weekend, I'm going to say it is going to be Max Verstappen.
You're saying Verstappen for pole.
I am.
I'm going to say Norris.
Norris.
Yep, going boring. We're going to go with the fastest team.
I went boring for the pole position last race with Piastri.
So for
And
fastest lap, I'm going to say Verstappen.
Verstappen?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say Lando Norris.
So we're splitting those opposite of each other for those 2 predictions.
Yeah, we
right.
are.
Third place in the race. What do you think?
I know I'm gonna get this wrong, and I know that I'm gonna cause Antonelli to get a podium because I missed it last time. But I have to get points. I'm so far behind. Actually, no. Kimi comes first. Kimi Antonelli, third place.
Third place Antonelli. All right. I'm gonna say Piastri for third place.
Yeah, third place Piastri.
Yep.
He's won the past 3 races.
Yes, he has, but he's gonna get third in this race.
Ooh, okay.
Second place with the fastest lap. Remember, I'm saying Verstappen.
Verstappen with the fastest lap.
And second place.
And second place. Did I say fastest lap yet?
Yeah,
yes,
you
I
said
did.
Norris for
I
fastest
said fastest lap. Second place for me, I'm going to go with Oscar Piastri. I'm also going to say he does not get a win. But third seems a little low.
Okay. Well, then, who do you have for first place?
Lando Norris.
Which is also what I have.
Oh, come on. Stop copying me.
So, yeah, you're Norris, Piastri, Antonelli for 1, 2, 3, and I'm Norris, Verstappen, Piastri.
Listen, after Piastri got that sprint pole, do you remember? And I almost actually had it. I literally said, I was listening to our previous podcast from Saudi Arabia. I was like, I swear, Kimi Antonelli could start getting really good soon. Wink, wink. Miami.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world did I not say anything? I
Well,
was so close.
Here's your chance to redeem yourself.
This is my chance.
Give me your wild prediction
And
for the race.
And I said that as soon as Antonelli gets like a win or something, I'm gonna say he's gonna win every race. A pole position for the sprint, that's close enough to a podium.
Okay. It's not actually a podium, though.
Oh no, it could be.
So give me your wild prediction for the race at Imola.
Ooh, I've not checked the weather for Imola. Oh man,
Well, we're a week out yet.
I don't think it's raining for it. We
Well,
are recording this for pretty early for once, which is nice. Verstappen does not finish.
Verstappen DNF.
It would work because I said he'd get pole position and I didn't predict him in the podium.
Okay. I'm going to say that Piastri is going to be rapid in the race, but and that's why I said he's going to be third. But my actual prediction is that he's not going to get into the top 10 in qualifying.
Ooh.
And I'm not saying how. I'm not saying it's going to be a pace thing
Now,
or
do you mean knocked
crashing
out?
or
Do you mean knocked out in Q2 or?
I mean, he's not going to make it in the top
penalty.
No, I'm saying he's not going to be in the top 10 in qualifying. So he'll be knocked out in Q1 or
okay.
Q2 for one reason or another.
But would you still get the point if he started in the top 10?
Yeah. If he qualifies 11th, but then somebody else has a
Okay.
grid penalty or something like that, and he starts 10th, that still counts, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
so,
it.
That's it for our Miami Grand Prix race recap.
Nice long podcast episode.
Yeah. So make sure you give us a like and a subscribe and all of those things. Click all the other buttons
Smash all the buttons
that make things happen. And until next time, I'm Danny Kane,
And I'm Eddie Medio Kane.
and this has been the Fast F1 podcast.
Bye.
Fast F1 is produced by Danny Kane and Eddie Mediao Kane. All rights are reserved. Music is performed by Alex Zavessa. Thanks for listening.